Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining. We are going to get started in about 10 seconds. There are a lot of people pouring into the room. So you are here to see what Khan Academy has done to support Texas teachers. We're so excited to be addressing this group of district administrators today. We have a lot to show you. We've built pretty amazing things. We have 175 new videos alone to support Texas classrooms. We have a lot to share about that. So Dr. Jamison, if you could please go to the next slide. Here's our agenda for today. I'll walk you through some logistics. We'll introduce our speakers today, and then we'll dive right into the good stuff so you can see everything that's new. And then before we close out, we'll make sure that we answer any questions that have surfaced, and we'll close out with some clear next steps for how to get in touch with the team if you'd like to talk more. And also make sure you have a list of upcoming events that you could share with teachers in your district so they can see more of the free resources that are available for them. Okay, so I would love if you don't mind in the chat, if you could drop in your name, where you're coming from. We would love to just get a sense. I think everyone, participants and us alike, would love to see who's in the room. And please feel free to drop questions throughout. You can drop them in the chat. The Q&A is also open, so wherever you leave them, we will find them. Everyone here today will get the recording. We'll get it to you as soon as we can turn it around. And we do invite you to check out those upcoming events. They're geared specifically towards teachers. So with that, we'll move on to introductions. We have three incredible people on the line today to support you. We have Dr. Kate Garfinkel. She's a professional learning specialist. That is saying so little about Dr. Garfinkel, but one of her many skills is that she is an expert at helping teachers teach math and science. We have Dr. Mark Jamison. He's our regional manager for Texas District Partnerships. Mark is a true expert in the Texas area and is just thrilled about the work that we've been able to do to better support Texas admins and teachers. And finally, we have Jennifer Cummings, who is also an exceptional professional learning specialist based in Texas, and also just over the moon that we have all this new material to share with you all. So with that, I will turn it over to the team. And I invite you to leave any questions in the chat. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you very much, Aviv. We greatly appreciate that for getting us started today. Our team is absolutely thrilled at Khan Academy to be able to share all of these great new resources with you today. Sort of for those of you who may not be familiar with Khan Academy, our overall mission is that we want to provide a free world-class education for anyone everywhere. So when we take a focused look at Texas specifically, just some historical information for you very quickly. During the 22-23 school year, we had over 2.1 million students who were using courses on our platform. And then during the last school year, we added Khanmigo for teachers as in addition to those courses. And we had over 400 districts within the state of Texas that were taking advantage of those phenomenal resources that we had. Today, specifically, we want to focus on what's new for Texas. With the help of the ExxonMobil Foundation, we are thrilled to be sharing with you our courses that just went live in the month of July. We have added TEKS-aligned courses specifically for grades 5, 6, 7, and 8, our Texas Algebra 1 course, as well as our high school chemistry, biology, and physics courses. All of these courses are currently available on the Khan platform. If you'd like to take a look at them, if you already have an account, you should be able to log in and see those. If you don't currently have an account, you're more than welcome to go to khanacademy.org, sign up for an account, and you can go in and look at all of the phenomenal resources that our team of educational experts and engineers have designed and put together for you. In addition to those courses, for the first time, in Khan history, we've also taken a phenomenal amount of effort to build specific teacher guides to help support the courses that we have built. I'm going to take a quick look at our Texas TEKS Algebra 1 course. All of our TEKS courses are aligned very similarly, so the picture that you see right now gives you kind of an overview of what the course, how it's structured. All of the topics are represented by different squares, and those squares are all broken into separate units within the course. It's very easy for the teachers to go in and they can set course goals, they can set unit goals, so they can sort of set an idea as far as what level of proficiency they want their students to have when they're working on the particular courses. One of the things that Jennifer frequently does as our professional learning specialist, when she's working with school districts, is particularly at the beginning of the school year, you may notice over here in the lower right-hand corner, every course also includes a course challenge. One of the things that's great about that is it gives the teacher the opportunity to assign that to the students, and then the screen will populate showing where the students already have knowledge on particular skills, which makes it really, a great instrument that the teacher can use then to help drive their instruction. Additionally, all of the topics for each unit are easily available for the teacher to use and see. They can click on any particular topic if they desire, and they can teach from Khan Academy. So frequently people think of, well, you have an online digital platform with all of these tools. One of the things that we want to make sure that our teachers are aware of is you can actually use Khan Academy in a multitude of ways. These courses are designed so that whether we're doing it for direct instruction, with the whole class, small group, or individualized, it's very easy to go in, use the platform, have quick access to the tools that you need so you can assign those to your students. As Aviv mentioned, when our team was building these courses, we wanted to make sure that we covered 100% of the Texas TEKS. With that in mind, our team built phenomenal exercises that give the students the opportunity to show their knowledge and understanding as they're building their knowledge. We have videos, articles that they can utilize so that they can easily go in, use the program. It's going to track their progress so that they can see their individual student success. To assist the teachers with this, we've also created some phenomenal teacher guides. And since Kate was instrumental in actually creating those, I'm going to turn it over to her for just a few moments so that she can speak specifically to the teacher guides. Kate?
Thank you, Mark. I'm really excited to be here today to introduce the teacher guides. These are a brand new resource for our Texas standards. And so I'm really excited to show them to you and to see what you all think. So this is an example of a unit guide. All of the unit guides provide many resources for teachers. These were designed specifically with new teachers or teachers teaching new courses in mind. So we always have the standards, we have objectives, we have an overview, we have a section with common misconceptions that include places where students might struggle and also how to help them. The unit guides also include a lesson overview. We have this little icon here that shows teachers how many videos, articles, and exercises are in each lesson to help with their planning. We also have teaching tips that include warm-up activities, exercise ideas, and other supports that students may need, as well as some content support. And then we also have a best practices section, and this section is different in different unit guides depending on the topic, but often it will have some content in there. There may be an explanation of manipulatives or other tools for that unit, and there also is a section on classroom activities. So the TEKS guides also include video watching and exercise workspace templates, as well as content-specific templates that are designed specifically if you need graph paper or number lines or things like that. And those are so that students will have a place to show their work on paper as they're working through the units. We also have general resources for effective implementation, which I'll talk about on the next slide. And we also have science unit guides, and our science unit guides are a little bit different from math. They also include phenomena for each lesson. So where do we find these TEKS unit guides? There are 3 places you can find them. The primary place is that each course has a unit that's been added at the end that's called Teacher Resources. You can see that on the left. And when you go to that, you'll see, and the next slide will show what that looks like. So that's one place you can find it. In the course intro, we have a link to the Teacher Resources unit, and then every unit has a link to the PDF for that unit guide. This shows the Teacher Resources unit. So It has two articles. One is how to use the unit guides, which gives an overview of what's included, as well as unit guides and other resources. So you can see here, we will have links as well as the standards for every unit. And then at the end, we also have our additional resources. So we have a quick planning weekly guide. We have a guide for using Khan Academy in the classroom that includes ideas for how you might structure your classroom setting. Is it whole group? Is it small group, etc.? And then we also have differentiation strategies for the classroom using Khan Academy. So those are the unit guides. Thank you. And I'll pass it back to Mark.
Thank you very much, Kate. So in just a moment, we're going to go live into the platform. We can look at these courses, and we're going to just go ahead and jump right into that. Give me just a second to toggle over, and let's look at the courses again in Khan Academy. Your teachers will have access to all of the courses on our platform. And another thing that's somewhat unusual about our platform is that students can actually be rostered in more than one course concurrently. So you may have, say, your high school students taking Algebra 2, they could also be enrolled in our SAT prep course, or an AP course is something that happens very commonly as well. In addition to all of the courses that your teachers and students have access to, we also have access, or teachers have access to Khanmigo, our artificial intelligence bot that can go in and serve as a wonderful teaching assistant for each of your teachers. So I'm going to go ahead and launch Khanmigo. There's a button here at the top of the screen. When I click on Khanmigo, I can go in as a student or as a teacher. I'm going to start with the teacher tools. And when you look at the screen, there are a plethora of different AI tools that Khanmigo can work with your teachers on, helping them to be very productive in the classroom and help them save a significant amount of time. These are actually filtered at the top of the page. I'll start with clicking on Plan. We want to, teachers very frequently are always asked to, create lesson plans, write exit tickets, do lesson hooks. So let's give a quick example of what a lesson plan might look like using the help of Khanmigo. So when I click on lesson plan, it's going to then ask me a very quick question. What are you planning to teach? So in this case, I'm just going to simply go in and type in that I want to teach potential energy. And Khanmigo is going to give me some recommendations. Since we're in Texas, you'll notice that there's a recommendation that comes up aligned back to the Texas TEKS. So when I click on that, I can simply click Create Lesson Plan. It's going to take Khanmigo a few seconds to get its thoughts together, and then it's going to start providing me with that particular lesson plan. You'll notice that it starts off automatically writing that lesson objective for me. It's going to call out the specific TEKS that this lesson plan is being built around. It's going to give me some learning activities, starting with a warm-up activity I may choose to do with my students. It's going to give me suggested direct instruction that I can use with my students. It's going to provide me with an inquiry activities that I could choose to use with my students. And again, while Khanmigo continues to build this lesson plan, please note that these lesson plans can easily be modified by the teacher at any time. These lesson plans can easily be saved. They can be printed. They're very customizable. Khanmigo is basically serving as that digital assistant for the teacher, giving them a lesson plan that could fully be utilized, but at the same time, we want to make sure that Khanmigo is also giving the teacher the opportunity to go in and make any modifications that they may need. You'll notice again that there's everything from lesson extensions to the required materials to teach this lesson. Here's some links to videos that the teacher could choose to use. And then it wraps up with a lesson summary. You may notice over on the right-hand side of the screen, I'll go ahead and expand Khanmigo. Khanmigo has told me, okay, I finished the first draft. Let me know if you have any questions. So as the teacher, if I wanted to, I could easily go in and ask Khanmigo to adjust the lesson, any particular section of the lesson, or redirect the lesson. But it's very easy. And this is one of the features that our teachers love to use. Out of all of the tools on Khanmigo, this is one of the ones that the teachers use most frequently. I'll share another one with you. I'm going to go back to the tools. This time I'm going to go in and demonstrate very quickly for you what a lesson hook might look like. Maybe you have a teacher that is a well-seasoned teacher. They're very familiar with the content, but maybe they're just looking for an exciting way that they can introduce the topic for their students. So in this case, I'm going to go in and tell Khanmigo that I'm working with 9th grade students. The lesson topic for today is going to be slope intercept. And for the lesson content, I'm going to ask Khanmigo to kind of think outside the box for just a second. I'm going to ask Khanmigo to tie the lesson hook to the Texas Rangers baseball team. And luckily for me, spelling and capitalization is not needed. So I'll go ahead and submit that. It's going to take Khanmigo just a second. And Khanmigo is now going to create for me 3 different examples of a lesson hook that I could choose to use. Now, again, Khanmigo is sitting over on the right-hand side of the screen. I'm going to open Khanmigo up. And I'm sitting here looking at these lesson hooks, and I think all of them are good. However, I know that there was a recent video that just came out. My students were talking about the famous pitcher at the Texas Ranger, the Nolan Ryan. So I'm going to ask Khanmigo, can you add Nolan Ryan to this lesson hook? And it's going to take Khanmigo just a second. Khanmigo comes back and says, absolutely, I can weave Nolan Ryan into the lesson hook. So Khanmigo now is going in and giving me some specific examples of lesson hooks that I could use, tying in Nolan Ryan with slope intercept. But I'm looking at this and think, oh, I want to take this one step further. Maybe as a teacher, I'm not that comfortable with slope intercept. So I'm going to take it a step further and ask Khanmigo, can you give me a specific example? And give Khanmigo just a second. And Khanmigo comes back and says, certainly, let's take a deeper dive into this. And so it's going to provide me with additional information that I could choose to use as my lesson hook. One more on the teacher side of things. I'm going to go back to the list one last time, and let's go with the IEP assistant next. The IEP assistant is great. Maybe you have an ARD meeting scheduled and you need to, get ready for that meeting. And that's a time-consuming process for a lot of teachers. But in this case, I'm going to go in and I'm going to use Khanmigo, and I'm going to say that I'm working with a 6th grade student in math. The student's disability is that they have autism. And the student's current challenges, let's see, they struggle with social interactions. They have a hard time controlling emotions. And what are some of the student's strengths that they have? Let's see, this student, it's difficult to type when everybody's watching. Student works well alone and also likes projects. Now, again, the more specific information that you give Khanmigo, the more succinct and direct the IEP plan will be. But I'll go ahead, based on the limited information that I gave Khanmigo, can still do a phenomenal job of creating that IEP for this particular student. Khanmigo is drafting it now. Again, as with everything with Khanmigo, once the recommendations are made, as the teacher, I can easily choose to go in and make modifications, print it, save it, so that then I have this to go by. Again, Khanmigo does a phenomenal job, I think. Part of the uniqueness of Khan Academy is that all of the apps that we have built within Khanmigo are designed by educators for educators. We want to make sure that when we're using Khanmigo as an AI tool, whether it be on the teacher side as I'm demonstrating now, or on the student side, that we're using the AI tools in a very safe environment. Guardrails are built in to make sure that the AI is, not only successful, but is also in a very safe environment. Khanmigo is almost done with creating this IEP, but as you'll notice, it's provided you with a plethora of different goals and specific strategies that we can use to make sure that the students' needs are being met. Again, completely Teachers can easily go in and make modifications to this as they need. I'm going to slowly kind of scroll back up just so we can take a look at how specific this IEP plan is again. It wraps up with a summary. It gives you the multiple goals that the student is going to, or that were created specifically for the student. Those SMART goals, again, are completely adjustable if you need. But again, Khanmigo is going to take the information that the teacher provides it and is going to give you then that finished product. With all of the content from the courses, and then with the AI tools for teachers layered in there, I think one of the things that is paramount to briefly discuss is how do we support this? Through our Khan Academy district partnerships, all of our customers then get they get an assigned district success manager. You also get a PL specialist. In the case of Texas, that would be Jennifer Cummings on the call with us. But part of, Jennifer's goal is to make sure that the teachers and the students are using the courses to fruition. We want to make sure that they're getting the most out of these courses as possible. So one of the things that we can do is build a custom PD plan for you so that as we're going through and looking at the data for these classes, we make sure that we have efficacious use of the particular courses and resources. I'm going to toggle over for just a second in Khanmigo to the student's perspective. And let's look just briefly at some of the different learning activities that are available for the students. We can go in and look at the different tutoring tools. This is one of the most popular ones that the students will select. They'll go in and say, hey, tutor me in math and science. And once they make that selection, then Khanmigo will intervene. Jump in here any second now, Khanmigo. And Khanmigo is here to say, hey, I'm here to help you with math or science questions. If the student wanted to, they could ask a very specific question, or if you'll notice, Khanmigo does a phenomenal job of sort of prompting the students automatically. Students can use voice recognition in the program. They can click and speak their request if they choose, or they can type in their question if they prefer. I'm just going to go ahead and use the auto prompt that was provided for me. Notice though, when I told it I wanted 10 practice questions, Khanmigo now is going to ask me to help narrow the focus. So maybe I want some help with linear regression. Hit enter, and Khanmigo will then go to work and create those practice problems for me. One of the unique things when students are working with Khanmigo, our program is built specifically to support the student as a tutor. If a student asks the question specifically, what is the answer to, say, 3 times 7, Khanmigo is not going to tell them the answer. Khanmigo will use a Socratic method of questioning to determine what the student knows and doesn't know, and then it will provide prompts to assist the student so that they can ultimately work through the problem, but at the same time, Khanmigo is there as a support. It's not there to provide the student with immediate responses or to the questions. One of the new things that we've recently added is our phenomenal writing coach. For the students, I'm going to launch the writing coach and give you a brief overview of how this works. I promise we won't go through the entire essay process, but when I go in and let's say, for example, I want to go in and maybe want to focus on, my teachers asked me to write a quick essay on the high-speed train. I'm going to write a persuasive argument. I'm a 9th grade student. I'm going to write a persuasive essay, and the essay prompt is going to be to write a persuasive essay to get voters, to vote yes for a high-speed train between Dallas and Houston. And the minimum word count my teacher told me on this was going to be 1,500 words. So let's get started. So Khanmigo is now going to go through. It's going to ask me over here on the right-hand side. It's already prompting me as the student, well, do you understand what a persuasive essay is? If I don't, I can click explain the essay type and Khanmigo will provide me with some information. I feel fairly confident that I know what a persuasive essay is, so I'm going to go ahead and click get started with outlining. Khanmigo now is going to jump in and provide me with basically a template that I can use to help me in pulling my thoughts together so that I can end up basically with an outline for this particular essay. And then it's going to walk me through. Again, it's asking me, well, write your thesis statement here. Well, if I don't know what the thesis is, I can always jump over here on the right-hand side and ask Khanmigo, can you help me? What is a thesis? I can go in and it's going to prompt me to start the body of my first paragraph. I can put in my main topics. I can put in my specific evidence, my reasoning. Again, Khanmigo is here to serve as a tutor for me so it can assist me in going through and building the essay. It's a phenomenal tool. Once I finish with the outlining process, then Khanmigo will go ahead and assist me with the drafting, and then we will go through a revision process, and ultimately then I end up with a phenomenal 1,500-word essay that will help persuade voters to vote yes on, getting the high-speed train between Dallas and Houston. Bouncing back for just a second, we're going to level set for just a second. Again, teachers have access to all of the courses that you see on the screen. Teachers have access to Khanmigo in all of these courses. From the district perspective, how do we look and see sort of what is available? Again, through our district partnership, we offer the ability to do auto rostering either through Clever or through ClassLink so that then we can auto roster these classes. So it makes it very easy at the beginning of the school year for your teachers and students to log in, launch Khan Academy and jump right into their courses. From the district perspective, I'm going to open my administrator dashboard. We can set this dashboard up so that obviously district administrators can see everything in the district, but we can also truncate it so that a building principal or say an instructional coach at a specific campus, they have access and visibility only to the campus and or students that they would need to see. One of the first things that loads is the dashboard page itself. It just gives us a high-level overview of what's going on. Again, I'm in at the district level, so I see everything. I can see that within our district, when I hover over the activation tab, I can see that we currently have 465 students rostered through the SIS. And of those 465, 65% of our students have gone in and actually set up their account. And we know that 59% of those students have actually started an activity. So it's just a simple way to quickly see of all of the subscriptions that we've provisioned, how many of the students have gotten started. We can quickly look and see how many students in the last 7 days have gone in and moved up a level on proficiency. And just as a point of reference, when students are working in Khan Academy, we appreciate the time that they spend in Khan Academy, but it's far more important to us to support teachers and seeing that the students are leveling up on their skills. They may move from, being a beginning learner, but up to some activity within the program, but we want to make sure our goal is that we at least reach proficiency. So when we look at the skills leveled up, we know that students on average, based on our research, students should level up at least, 2 skills approximately every 30 minutes of time that they spend within Khan Academy. So by the end of the school year, we would like to see a minimum of 60 skills that the students have moved up on in proficiency. If you're wondering, well, how many skills are in a course? When I'll go back in just a second and show you, but at every course at the very beginning, it shows the teacher exactly how many skills are built into the course. And it varies depending on grade level and course, but it's usually in around the range of 120 skills per course. In addition to the activation components, we can easily look at this by school level. I can go in and look at maybe specific grade levels, And I can also break it down to the level of teacher as well. I can see, has the teacher activated their account, how many students are in that teacher's class, and what % of those students within the class have actually engaged with the program and started. More importantly, I feel though, is how are the students doing academically? So if we go over and click on the process tab for courses, I can see, for example, within my district, for my students that are taking Algebra 1, I know I have a total of 121 students in the district. And again, this is showing a snapshot of the previous 7 days. So I know that 18, I can see that on the under learning minutes, those students have averaged 18 minutes in the last 7 days. And over under skills to proficient, I can see that those students, 2 of our students have moved up a level to proficiency. The bar graph breaks it down visually, so it's very easy to monitor from attempted to familiar to proficient to level of mastery. We can also look at this same data set at the school level. Again, very similar information. It's just depending on how you as an administrator want to capture the information. But please know that on any of these progress reports, as the administrator, you can always click on the hyperlink and you can narrow it down. So at this particular high school, I can now see the breakdown by individual teachers. And if I choose, I can drill down even further. I can see the specific classes that this teacher is associated with. I can drill down even further, and I can see the individual students in the course as well. Very simple to click on the student, and then again, you can drill all the way into a particular course and see exactly where the student is. Teachers have a similar view. I'll jump over there in just a second and show you what it looks like from the teacher's perspective as well. You also have the ability to go in and look at, this is a new report that we just added. You can also easily go in and monitor the actual course mastery. The nice thing about this report is it also gives you a predictability value. Knowing that STAR tests are generally given, mid-March to early April, as your students are progressing through the course. Over on the far right-hand side, it's showing us our end-of-year projections. So it gives you a good idea, sort of, earlier in the year, you could be looking at this to determine how much more time do we need to spend, or where should we maybe focus additional efforts so that we have reached levels of proficiency prior to the administration of the STAR exam. I'm going to toggle over for just a second, give you a similar idea as to what the teacher dashboard looks like. From the teaching perspective, I'll go in and let's just go with my Algebra 1 class. The screen is going to be very similar to the district administration view, but again, it's going to go in and focus specifically on just the students within this particular class. The default is it's going to show me a breakdown by each of the individual skills. But one of my favorite things about the teacher dashboard is I like to get a visual as to where my students are based on very specific TEKS objectives. So now that we have, again, with the help of ExxonMobil, now that we have those TEKS-aligned courses, when the teacher brings up the scores report, it's going to list all of their students. They can go in and see visually, for example, I really don't need to spend, let's see if I can zoom in a little here. I really don't need to spend any additional time on equations because 100% of my students have mastery here. However, when we get over to number of solutions to equations challenge, the students, only one is showing proficiency here. So if I wanted to, I could very quickly click on that specific topic. And now I have content that I can use to work with my teachers, or excuse me, with my students on teaching and focusing in on that specific skill. It just makes it very easy for the teacher to use the data to give that just-in-time instruction to further support their students as needed. Go back for just a second. Let's see. The other thing that I think is important is, again, teachers all have access to Khanmigo as their tool. For districts that choose, it's an option as through a district partnership. You have the opportunity to add Khanmigo as well. So if the teacher wants to go in and assign some specific tools within the platform, they easily can. We have, I'm running just a minute or two ahead, so I'm going to jump back over to learner activities for just a second, so that you can go in and see a few more of these. One of the other features that students love to use, and teachers I was in El Paso, Texas earlier this week working with a group of teachers there. And we were actually doing this with students on going in and using Khanmigo to have a conversation with a historical figure. It's a great opportunity to go in and teachers or students can go in and select, let's say, for example, they want to have a conversation with Harriet Tubman. Harriet then is going to pop in, and Harriet's going to then give me the opportunity to have a conversation with her through the Khanmigo tool. So maybe I want to ask, how much did it cost to ride on the Underground Railroad? I submit my question, and Harriet Tubman now is going to come back and begin a conversation with me that, the Underground Railroad was not actually a train, with tickets to buy. It was a network, blah. It's going to go on and say, though, because my question was, what was the cost? And so Khanmigo now is telling me that although it wasn't measured in money, the cost to ride was determined by the courage and determination and willingness to risk everything for your freedom. Again, the student can continue to go in and have that conversation with the student or with Khanmigo. That's one of the features that the students really do enjoy, because again, when the student is working with the AI tool, and to a certain extent the same for the teacher, it gives them someone to interact with that will provide them with that immediate feedback. As a teacher, I may be brand new to the profession. I may not feel comfortable with walking across the hall and asking my colleague, well, how do I really teach this? Khanmigo will help with that. Teachers have the ability within the program to go in and get a review of the information or topics that they're going to teach before they have to do it live with their students. That shy student who may be sitting in the back of the classroom that doesn't want to raise their hand and ask for help, we've seen that they're very willing to then click on Khanmigo and ask Khanmigo for assistance. And again, it's just in time so that the student then can continue to move forward. They're not sitting there in class waiting for the teacher to notice that they're not moving forward. So it gives them that opportunity to be successful. A couple of things that are frequently asked, is Khanmigo only available in English? The answer is no. And right at this time, Khanmigo is available in English, Spanish, as well as Portuguese. And then all of the courses within Khan Academy are available in those three languages, as well as many more. We're pushing, I think, up to close to 100 different languages available for the course content. Students can easily go into their profile and select the language of their choice. Within Khanmigo, you can simply ask Khanmigo to switch to Portuguese or Spanish, and it will quickly do so. I'm going to jump back for just a second into PowerPoint for just a second. As our time is beginning to come to a close, I want to go over just a quick overview of some of the options that districts within Texas have for an implementation. Listed on the screen right now, these are all of the things that are currently available within the platform. Again, these are accessible today. You don't need a district partnership for those, although we would love for you to join, partner with us. You have access to all of the TEKS courses that we've just released, as well as all of the other courses available on the Khan Academy platform. Teachers do have access to Khanmigo and the tools. They can go in and easily, create lesson plans, do their planning, do their supporting. They can go in as within their own course content, and Khanmigo will assist them with learning as well. If you would like to consider a district partnership, one of the huge advantages there that I previously mentioned is it does open up the door for audit rostering so that we can quickly and easily get set up for back to school. But more importantly, our primary focus of a district partnership is we want to make sure of the efficacious use of all of these plethora of resources that are available to you. Again, when we have our discussions around what a partnership could look like for your specific district, I will immediately bring in one of my district success managers from Texas to begin meetings with the district so we can look at your specific needs. We'll listen attentively to what it is that your district wants to do with Khan Academy. We can do customizations, alignments, scope and sequences. The content is in the program. And it's very easy for us to then work with you on doing those customizations to make it the most meaningful experience for you and your teachers. Also included with the partnership is a bank of days, or excuse me, a bank of professional learning sessions. Those are generally done live, but virtual. An option within a partnership is if you would like to, choose on-site professional days. We generally deliver those in 6-hour sessions that can be, data reviews with individual teachers. It can be working with your instructional coaches. It can basically take on a life of how you at your district need us to best support you. Additionally, if you would like, you can also add Khanmigo at the student for your students as well. That is another option within district partnership. Again, all of these are different options that you have. We would love to partner with you so that we can, again, use these phenomenal new courses, use Khanmigo at the teacher level, at the student level, and so that we can change the education for the students within your district. Some additional quick information. If you would like, pull out your phone and scan the QR code here, you're more than welcome to do so. The one on the left, the green QR code, is going to take you to a web page that will provide you additional information on Khan Academy, our courses, Khanmigo, and it also provides you a way if you want to reach out to me. There's a quick link you can put in your information and that will be sent to me. Equally important on the right-hand side, the one in red, my Texas team, we are going to be offering in the next few days, there will be our first one. We are offering webinar sessions. There are 3 that teachers can sign up for if they scan that QR code on the right. You're welcome to scan it and then forward that to your teachers if you choose. But there are three opportunities coming up, one in July, one in August, and one in early September, where our Texas team will walk teachers through. These are, a very deep dive on the new Texas TEKS courses. We want to make sure that our team has done a phenomenal job of building those, and we want as many Texas teachers and students across the great state to be using those. So we want to make those readily available to you. I'll go back to the moderator. Are there any other, Jennifer, Kate, Aviv, were there any other particular questions that came up that I need to address as our time is quickly coming to an end?
I think we got them all.
Okay. Well, I appreciate everyone for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know your summer is waning quickly. And we appreciate the fact that you took time to join our Texas team today. We appreciate you very much and all that you do. And we thank you immensely for your time today. So thank you.